one question I think in my mind, Anthony, and I think in the minds of many listeners is when ETH spot ETF. There is a May 23rd final decision deadline for the VanEck spot ETH ETF. I'm actually not sure. I'd have to talk to Eric Balchunas or James Seifert about kind of the delay details there. But there's the possibility, however, maybe it might be remote, there's the possibility that we could have an ETH spot ETF approval in May. Do you see that happening with the current SEC? It would all depend, it seems like, on Gary's vote, right? Because there'd definitely be 2 commissioners yes, 2 no, which makes Gary the decider here. What do you think the possibilities are of that in May?
Yeah, I mean, I may be a bit biased here, given that like I'm an ETH mega bull, right? As everyone probably knows, but I think that the chances are quite high of the ETH spot ETFs getting approved by that final deadline. And the reason I think this is, there's various different reasons, but a major reason is that they already approved the futures ETF, the futures ETH ETFs, a little while ago. Now, the reason why this is a big deal is because the SEC lost the case to Grayscale based on the fact that they had approved the BTC futures ETFs, but then denied the spot ETFs. And the courts basically said to them, hey, why are you doing this? Like, they're basically the same product. You can't deny the spot ETFs and approve the futures ones. You basically have to approve them both. So because of that, if they go ahead and deny the spot ETH ETFs now, it opens them up to another lawsuit in which there's already precedent set because of the Grayscale win, and they just would probably lose again. So again, it's a really bad look for the SEC. It's a bad look for Gensler if he's still, I guess, the chair by then. I mean, he probably will be. It's not likely he kind of leaves this year, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But that is kind of the major reason. And I think a second thing that a lot of people probably haven't paid attention to that is very, very important. A few months ago, I would say maybe coming up on 6 months ago, the SEC changed their tune towards ETH. They stopped calling ETH a security. Like Gary Gensler stopped making comments about ETH being a security. The SEC stopped making comments about this. And they stopped saying that all crypto assets except BTC are a security. They basically said that most crypto assets are securities. So now they leave themselves open to, oh, okay, we can say most are securities, but like there's these ones here that aren't.
I noticed that change in language.
It was a pretty substantial change in language there, which basically to me means that they're not even going to try and kind of go after ETH as for being a security or whatever they want to do there, especially in the light of the fact they lost against Ripple in court. So given those kind of reasons, as well as the fact that we just got the BTC spot ETFs be approved, given the fact that BlackRock has also filed for an ETH spot ETF, I think the chances of them being approved by that deadline in May are quite high because the products themselves are just the same as a BTC ETF. It's not a staked ETH ETF. The product itself is the exact same as a BTC ETF. It will probably use the same custodians. It will have probably similar fees. So all these issuers have to do is copy paste. And all those amendments that they had to do with the SEC, they've already done them for BTC. So now it becomes a very easy kind of, okay, we can approve the ETH ones. It's basically the same thing as BTC. And yeah, so that's why I give it like a relatively high chance of happening. I think that Eric Balchunas, who you mentioned, I think that him and James give it like a 70% chance or something like that by May. I would say that that's where I'm at right now, but I don't know. The ETH bull inside me thinks it's higher. I think, but I think based on my comments that I just made and the reasoning I just gave, it seems like a pretty good chance to me.
Well, you know, all these banks are still going to want it just as much now that they've got a Bitcoin ETF, and then Grayscale, as you said, could just run the same play back, right? Take them to court for the Grayscale ETF, and so I'm sure the SEC has to think that that's coming.
To continue leveling up your crypto game, then you need to get on the Bankless newsletter. It's the world's most popular crypto email and is completely free. Just click below to sign up.